guys, Late Boy Scout here, showing you the Houdini Pro Emergency Rescue Tool, currently made by Benchmade, as I understand it. As I was doing some Googling, I found it also credited as being made by Benchmade. Yeah, so I'm a little confused there. Whatever the case, it appears to be the same tool, so whichever one you find, it's pretty much the tool, pretty much the Houdini Pro. What do we have on this thing? Well, it's essentially an emergency rescue cutter. That's all it is. Just as it says, emergency rescue tool. It's a cutter, and it's also a little flashlight, and it's also a window breaker. Yeah, this is a window breaker here on the other end, and I'll show you how that works. Using this little piece of cardboard, what you're basically doing is pushing this down. Imagine this was a window and you were kind of pushing it, let's say, this way against the window to get out of your car that's, what, I don't know, sinking in the water or something. Who knows? Or let's say you're trying to get into a car to rescue somebody. Okay, you're smashing down. Now, there's lots of ways that you can break a window, but this is a pretty effective one because what you've actually got is sort of a spring-loaded pin inside of here. So as you push this area down, you're completely safe, but you keep pushing, and... do you hear that? And what do we get as a result of that? We got that dimple right there. Or perhaps it's that dimple right there. Anyway, I did this previously. It's one of those two dimples. And that little dimple came from basically a little tiny nail that will pound that glass. And this is basically what you need to do to get into glass. You need one point to driven to into the glass with a lot of force. And that one point, you don't want a big, like a hammer, it's bad news. But one single point like this, into one, flat against that glass, driven in very hard, just shatter the thing. That's how, that's how emergency rescue tools are designed, and that's how they work. That's what they do. That little pinhole will bust the glass. Very cool. Then you've got a little flashlight on there as well. So, who doesn't need a flashlight in an emergency, right? Count on it being cold and windy and dark in an emergency. If you're prepared for it to be sunny and warm and, bright blue skies and just a wonderful day during an emergency, you're just not prepared. Sorry. It's supposed to be about 5 lumens. I'm going to say that's about right. It's a fairly dim light compared to this one. So, yeah. However, in an emergency, that'll get you through it, whatever the case. Also, with this emergency rescue cutter here, okay, what's really cool is that light actually lines up exactly with the space that you're trying to cut. Whatever the material is, whatever the thing is, it lines up perfectly with the cutting edge. So you'll always have that illuminated. That's very cool. I like that. Very cool tool, bright yellow as you can see. You can also get it in black as I understand it, with a fairly nice pocket clip on here. Good retention. And a nice kind of a grippy surface here. And what's this handle made out of? I'm not quite sure, but it feels like a type of FRN. Similar to the Bird Cara Rescue, which I may bring out and try to do a little compare and contrast to this knife. Actually, let's do that right now. Well, before I do, I'll try to get into a couple more specs regarding this. The steel on this is noted as being 9CR13 CO MOV, which I'm guessing is, close to 8CR13 MOV. Different, obviously, but I'm going to say somewhat close. Yeah, it's a lockback mechanism here, which gives you a nice, strong, positive lockup, and it does feel pretty strong as it needs to be, something like this. The overall length, when it's deployed, is about 5.9 inches, and the closed length puts you in about 4.67, according to one website. The sheath is just a nylon sheath, nothing really special, but it feels like it does the job. Good enough for storing this this tool. It has a thumb stud, but on this particular model, it's not ambidextrous. Depending on what you buy and where you buy it, you may get the ambidextrous version, you may not. Not sure. This is strictly a rescue tool. You're not going to get hardly any other use out of this. It's not going to be anything that you want to carry as an everyday carry item unless you are very much into being prepared for emergencies. In that case, this is an excellent tool for everyday carry. For more versatility, you probably want to carry something like this. You want to, let's say you want to have a good rescue knife that you can cut through materials with and not hurt the person that you're trying to rescue. But at the same time, you want a nice, long, straight edge blade that you can do everyday tasks with. Then perhaps the Cara Rescue is what you're after. However, I think that this would probably fail in a number of scenarios. And what are those scenarios? Well, it's still possible for you to sort of injure the person that you're trying to help. Depending on the angle that you're coming at, let's say this is the person's chest or skin, and as you're trying to cut through their clothing or their shoe or whatever it happens to be, there's still, there's a sharp edge right there, and there's still a chance, depending on how much control you have over this thing, that you could injure them. This one right here, the cutting edge is actually so far recessed, and look how rounded this is right here. There's pretty much no way that you're going to hurt anybody with that. So no concerns. This totally rocks and totally rules as a rescue tool. It beats this one out for sure, without a doubt. Now, again, I do think this is quite capable, and that's why I own it. But this is far superior, without a doubt. I don't think I mentioned before that I'm reviewing this on behalf of Gear Buyer's Guide and Gun Websites in their very cool project to donate the proceeds of the sale of this item and many other items to the Wounded Warriors Project. They're going to be selling this stuff on eBay, making a bunch of money off of it, giving it all to Wounded Warriors Project. Very cool. And this is a very cool item to look out for. So you might get an awesome deal on this whenever that auction takes place. Very, very cool. Well, how can I prove that this is a good rescue tool without demonstrating a couple cuts, huh? So let's destroy some of my old personal property. Here's an old belt made by Dickies I got quite a long time ago. It's basically worn out. It doesn't hold its position anymore. So let's see how the rescue tool does on it, huh? Let's imagine this is, I think this is made of cotton for the most part, but let's imagine this is some sort of a seat belt and see how well that goes through it, shall we? Wow, that was like butter. I'm really amazed at how fast I went through that. I wasn't expecting that. Goodbye, Dickies belt. You've been good to me. Wow, that's really something. And this is a tough little belt, or it has been. Wow, that's amazing. Nice. Okay, there's some personal property destroyed. Great. Let's move on to something else, shall we? Here's another old belt that I have not ever worn, I think. I got a hold of it because it came with a pair of shorts, I think. Let's destroy this one too. It's a bit thicker. Let's see how this does. Like butter. My goodness. It's really almost no effort at all cutting through this. I think my son could probably pull this off. Going through that very, very easily. Now, that's pretty awesome. Okay, let's do this card paper since I had this out from earlier. Might as well see how this cuts in comparison to that cloth. And that goes through that really well as well. Pretty easily. Awesome. This is, look at that edge there. It's so steep, but yet incredibly sharp in that one little spot there. Good for rope, good for basically anything. In fact, I wonder if I can double this up and still get through it. Let's see if I can pull that off. Okay, that's pretty well doubled up. Let's see if it'll go through that. Let's see, kind of a little bit of a pull and a little bit of rotating, and there we go. Went through that doubled up belt. Nice. Very nice. I'm really impressed with this tool. Cutting power is just spectacular. Now, I'm sure this would do okay, right? Let's say we want to cut through some of this. How is it going to do? Yeah, okay. It's not bad. And depending on the method that you use, You know, different levels of safety there. If I'm sort of pushing it away from me or doing that kind of thing, that's probably pretty safe. This works pretty well too, but this is super safe given that there's just this rounded thing right here, and that just kind of whisks through that. Okay, we've done some belts, a little bit of cardboard. Let's do some real damage, shall we? How about an old shoe? And this is a realistic situation. Let's say I've completely destroyed my foot, or the bones in it anyway, and a rescue worker's got to get this shoe off of me. Well, he's not going to cut the laces and pull it off that way, although he could, because this will zip through those laces very quickly. What he's going to do is actually cut the leather all the way off. I've seen this done before, guys. I have, in an instance where I watched a guy kind of fall off a roof in an accident, and I came to his aid, but I didn't know how to do very much, so I sort of stayed with him until emergency services arrived. And yeah, they kind of went through his entire shoe. It was a beautiful leather boot, and I'm sure he was very proud to own it, but they just tore all the way through it. So let's see how this does on this old leather shoe. Let's imagine that that's the scenario here. And let's try to go all the way down. And as you can see, that'll tear all the way through this entire thing. I've completely taken this shoe off, okay? Completely. No damage to the foot inside because of this. Just have completely opened this shoe up. Amazing. That is some serious, serious cutting power. You might see some dog hair in there. We used to have a dog. That's gross. Yeah, I don't mind destroying these shoes. They're worn out completely. I was going to throw them away anyways. Thought I'd give you a little entertainment instead. So there you go, guys. Shall we destroy the other one while we're at it? Heck yeah, let's have a replay. Let's destroy the other one. That was fun. Let's take it through the heel this time. Think it'll go through this? No, I don't think it will. Let's take it through the heel, though. Let's imagine we need to save somebody's heel. Yeah! That's some serious... My goodness, man. That is just insane. Look at that. Okay, yeah, this takes a little bit of force, but pretty much anyone I know who's an adult, who's got a muscle in their arm of any kind, could do this easily. Completely remove the shoe. Okay? And now you've successfully rescued this person whose foot is so damaged that you can't remove the shoe easily. Wow. Good stuff. What a tough tool. Again, this is the Houdini Pro, currently made by Benchmade, possibly by Ben Howe. It's fantastic. And that light will stay wherever you need it to as you're cutting. It will stay right where you need it to be. You know, I've got less force here because the shoe is all taken apart, but you get the idea. Yeah, you get the idea. Cool. Very cool. Hope you've enjoyed this little cutting demonstration. It's been a lot of fun for me. Houdini Pro by Benchmade. Check it out. This thing runs around $29, I think. That's sort of the median price that I found it listed at. Certainly an awesome rescue tool. For other applications, not really. You know, there's not really a lot of other applications you'll put this into, but for rescue, I think this absolutely rocks. And if you want to be that prepared, you better pick one of these up. Houdini Pro. Good stuff. I'm the late Boy Scout, guys. We'll see you later.